Yo,
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and all glory to
yeah,
Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Shem, Kodash, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right, and Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying. All right, we're the brothers from the Great Millstone Chicago branch. Right now, I got with me,
I'm the brother Yaradamba.
and I'm the brother Ibadyah. So, yeah, man, we had went into this topic on the line yesterday, basically dealing with equity in the kingdom of heaven, because the misunderstanding amongst the world is that all nations are equal, everyone can be saved, and this is not how the heavenly Father Yahweh, the God of the Bible, this is not how He set it up. All right, and it's gonna the kingdom is gonna be ordered in equity, and only one nation is gonna be in a rulership position, and the scriptures is abundantly clear about this when you actually read the scriptures, man. So Lord willing, we can get into the precepts, bro. Did you want to add anything?
Nah, that's the point right there. You know, the Lord, His kingdom is going to be perfectly righteous, is going to be perfectly just, and in that, every other nation has had their chance at rulership,
Right,
right? So now it will be Yasha Allah's time to rule, man. Where Yahweh shot at the head, King David, the rest of the 12 after that, the 144,000, and the rest of the 1/3. That's the order in which will be set, man. And if all of these other nations had their opportunity to rule and we didn't partake in their kingdom, right? We were tributary,
right,
we were
right.
servants. Where would be the equity in them partaking in our kingdom in that manner, in that role?
That's right, bro. Because real quick, let me pull this up,
Time.
Salaki. Let me share the screen. Hey, let's get the word equity. All right, because this is equity, not equality. See, the world is about equality. The God of the Bible is about equity, which is order. Okay, there's an order. So this is the precept, man. We could just read this. It reads Psalms 98 and 9. It says, "Before Yahweh, for He cometh to judge the earth," right? Via His holy arm, man, His Son Yahweh Shai. It says, "With righteousness shall He judge the world, and the people with equity." All right, so Yahushua is going to establish equity on the planet Earth, man. And this word is my yashar, which the root word is yashar, which means what? It's straight, it's upright, it's correct, man. It's in order, it's even, right? That's equity, straightness. Okay, justice, peace, and the earth is not going to know peace until what? Those who are supposed to be in rulership under the heavenly Father are. And until then, there's not going to be no equity. There's not going to be fairness. There's not going to be peace. There's not going to be justice and judgment on the planet Earth, man. So the throne of David, which is Yahweh Shai, at the head of that, he has to rule, man. And
Yep.
in order for the earth to be in a good condition. So that's
Yeah.
equity.
Yeah. I was gonna say, can we get that Isaiah 9?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Perfect.
This
Um,
Isaiah, I got you, bro. This Isaiah 9 and 6. All right, speaking of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, see it says, "Birth and reign of the Prince of Peace." Isaiah 9 and 6. "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders."
right. And that government, right, going back to John 3:16, everybody loves to bring this out. For God so loved the world. When you go into that word for world and cosmos, and for when you go into that word world in John 3:16, it's the word cosmos or cosmos, however they decide to say it on there,
Right.
right? And it goes into a government.
And here it is right here. It's an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution in order, a government.
So there you go. This is that government that's being spoken of, man.
That's
The
right.
government of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man, with Yahweh Shai being the head of that, right? and again, King David ruling after that. But this is his government. The government is going to be upon his shoulders.
That's right. The world is gonna. That's what world means. You know, the world is gonna be upon his shoulders, man. The world of the world of Israel, the government of Israel, and also, bro, when you go in, there's that precept in Sirach. We don't have to get it, but it's talking about Aaron's breastplate and how
Yep.
he had. Look, I'm gonna show it right here.
I believe that's I thought it was Wisdom of Solomon 18.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yep. And it says what? Graven on the thing was what? The whole world. Right? It says the whole world. But we know that these are only the 12 tribes of Israel, you know? So there's no other nation on here. There's no Moab on here. No, man. These are the 12 tribes. And that's the whole world. You know, just understanding the meaning of the word world, you know?
Yep. I got that precept right here for you. It's Wisdom of Solomon 18:24. And it reads, wait for a second.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
There we go.
Wisdom of Solomon 18:24. For in the lone garment was the whole world.
There you go.
And in the 4 rows of the stones was the glory of the Father's graven, and thy majesty upon the diadem of his head. So there you go, right there. As the brother showed in the painting, man, that was what this was talking about, the ephod.
Yeah.
All right, and it says that the whole world was represented in the ephod, meaning the 12 tribes of Israel, showing you that is the world, man.
The whole cosmos, man. The whole. If you could even just put the word cosmos right here, in the long garment was the whole cosmos.
Yep.
That's the glory of the fathers, man. All right, the fathers going back to seed line, you know, going back to Jacob, man. So again, you know, equity. This is who's going to be in rulership, man.
Yep.
The world is gonna the cosmos is gonna be in rulership, man. The 12 tribes, starting with what? 12,000 men from each tribe. The 144,000 prophets, man. You know.
Yep. Absolutely. Get back to the Isaiah 9 real quick. Yep.
Yes, there is. It says, continuing Isaiah 9:6, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God.
Right. Real quick, I just wanted to make the point too, because we're talking about order, right? Yeah. We're talking about equity and we're talking about order. Understanding what the word God means, man. That's a power. He's a power. And yes, Yahweh Shai is a mighty power. Does that make him the most high God? No. Right? But he is a power, man.
He is a mighty God, though. He is a mighty power.
Yep. And then it also said the everlasting Father.
Yep.
And understanding the Eastern custom of being called a father, right? You have people, even in today's time, you have someone who is called the father of modern medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's just showing you that you're great at something. All right. And in that aspect, Yahweh Shai is the everlasting Father in terms of righteousness and things of that nature, man. All right. He's the founding father of righteousness at the end of the day, man. Because without we all get our righteousness through him.
Facts.
You know.
And he also, you know, in Colossians, all things were created by him and for him.
Yep.
You know, so he is a really also the father of creation. Of course, we understand that the Most High God, Yahweh, gave him the blueprint and the instruction to do it. But hey, Yahweh Shai is the father of all creation, man. You know.
God. Back to this Isaiah 9:6. We could just read that again, low key.
Yeah, I'm gonna just read it from the top. It says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace."
Right, the Prince of Peace, because he's the one who's actually going to bring peace. Everybody on earth talks about, oh, we want world peace, we want world peace.
Right.
That's not something that's going to happen under this devil. That's in rulership, man. The Prince of Peace is going to bring that. All right. When he's in the scriptures say when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn.
Yep.
So even the heathen in a lower state, they're going to be better off than they are now, man.
Oh,
Because
hell
we're
yeah.
going to intake food, clean water, clean air,
Clean women.
man. They'll just be in a better estate just off the fact that the righteous are in rulership.
Shit, they'll be in paradise, bro.
Yeah,
They'll be in heaven.
tributaries, but yeah,
But still, that's not a problem. Shit, they won't have a problem with that, you know.
not salvation. We got to make that clear nowadays. Jake, these Israelite leaders are going off.
Right. Because salvation is dealing with deliverance, you know, getting saved up out of the hands of your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But only one nation is, like the elder brother Capo said yesterday, man. What other nation needs saving, man? You know, Moab can go back to China. Elam can go back over there, you know. But Jake, you know, this is not our rest, man. We're yet this day in our captivity. You know,
Absolutely.
we're the ones who need saving. We're the ones who are supposed to be ruling. So that script got to get flipped, man. That's salvation. That's deliverance, you know, via the chariots, via the midst of the destruction of Babylon the Great, man. That's what's only for Israel, but the entire earth is going to enjoy the fruits of equity and righteousness in the kingdom, you know.
Yeah.
The whole earth is going to rejoice, man. The trees, the sea is going to shout, the trees are going to rejoice. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Isaiah 9:7. I think we was at 7 now, right?
Con, it says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end.
Right. So the increase of his government and his peace, there should be no end. This kingdom, when Yahweh comes and take over, right? Nothing else is coming after that, man.
Yeah.
When the Lord reigns, he reigns forever. It's not, you know, many Christians had this breakdown about the millennial reign, where they say, or some of the Israelites was teaching it, that is Satan gonna come back, or God can make
God, yeah.
Nah, bro, that's not how this is going down, man.
Hey, we can cut that real quick right here. This is Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. The kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
There you go.
So there you go, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
There you go. The increase of his government and peace, there should be no end, man. But we can keep going.
And break the kingdom, the heathen in pieces too, man.
Yep.
So it says, again, upon the throne of David, because the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach came out of the loins and lineage of David.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. It says the zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this.
So there you go, man. This is when you get your judgment and your justice on earth, man.
That's right.
This is when you get it. Not in the corrupt society that we live in today, man. It's no justice here. It's no judgment. All right. Everything here is turned upside down and folly, man. You know? So that's when we're gonna get it. But it says what? He's going to order it. And that's what this topic is about. Order and equity. What's the order going to be? What's the equity going to be? Right? Even amongst the Israelites, you will have order. The 144,000 will have order. Doesn't it say how does it say he will set every man in his in their own rank?
Yeah, in
their own order.
Yeah, man. 1 Corinthians 15 and 23. But every man in his own order, Hamashiach, the first fruits.
Can you start up one, Salaki?
Yeah, it says, verse 22, for as in Adam all die, so even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive.
Mm-hmm.
But every man in his own order, Hamashiach, the first fruits, afterwards they that are Hamashiach's at his coming.
So there you go. Even amongst the elect, there will be order, man. Well, how much more among the nations? All right.
Hey, and again, who are the first fruits? You know,
Yep.
that's that 12,000 men from each tribe, man. You know, like it says in Revelation, that's New Jerusalem coming down from heaven, man.
Yep. So there
And
you go.
yeah, like you know, Yahushua said, like, restore the glory that I had with you in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So the glory of that heaven is coming to earth, man. The order of the heavens is coming to earth. On earth, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, man.
Yep. Absolutely.
Let me hit this real quick, because this really goes into it as well. And this is a raw precept. It says, "Then cometh the end, when he shall deliver up the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and all power."
That's perfect, bro.
That's
And that
perfect.
again shows you what? Going back to what we said earlier when we was talking about the almighty power, right? When we said, yeah, he's not the Father, but he is a power. This right here shows you that because it says he delivers up the kingdom to the Most High.
Yep, even the Father.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep,
That goes to show you right there. And then it shows you that he's going to crush all of the rest of these governments,
exactly.
all of the rest of these power systems. They have to go.
Right. It doesn't say then he's going to equalize all rule and he's going to.
We're not putting the UN together to get everybody's opinion,
Yeah,
man.
right. Right. Because your opinion doesn't matter. All that matters is the word of the Heavenly Father. That's it.
Yep. Can we grab this Matthew 13 real quick?
I got it right here. Let me just hit this real quick, bro.
No, Salakia.
No, Salakia, but just because it's on point. Verse 25, for he must reign. See, he must reign. He must. That's the only answer. Till he hath put all enemies under his feet.
Mm-hmm.
And the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
There you go.
There we go. And then you want that, Matthew?
Yeah, Bible could shout at Matthew 13 because going into what? He's going to destroy all of the Salakia, how did it say it again?
Verse 41.
In that, yeah.
It says,
Corinthians.
oh, yeah.
How did it say it again? Salakia.
Right. He shall have put down all rule, all authority, and all power.
Right. Going into he has to eliminate everything that is not useful or meaningful to the kingdom, and that's all of these government. That's all of the rest of these nations. It's wickedness, which that's what these nations forward at the end of the day.
All these other mindsets, all these other ways of life. That's out of order. It's out of order. And it offends, man. He's going to gather out everything that offends.
God.
It says, Matthew 13:41, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity.
And that shows you what as well, man, that the kingdom, right, is on earth.
I was just going to say that, bro.
As the brother quoted from the Lord's Prayer earlier, on earth as it is in heaven, man. That's why these things have to be plucked out of this kingdom, out of this world, because on earth as it is in heaven, the heavenly order is coming down to heaven, man. All right. But you got it, bro.
Verse 42, and they shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
That's second death. That's second death, because the earth itself will have to be purified. The earth has to be cleansed, man. Look at all of the dirt that Esau, Edom, and as well as the rest of the nations have done, man. The earth is going to be cleansed, especially this place is going to be totally destroyed, right? But then even the Holy Land, that place has to be cleansed and then rebuilt because of all the folly that they do over there.
Yeah. It says, then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who had ears to hear, let him hear. You know.
So there you go. That was the point that I wanted there.
You want to? We got Isaiah 11. We got the Zechariah. We got the Micah.
We get to Isaiah 11, and then we can go into the other ones because this one is still going into how Yahushua orders things, but then the rest of them talks about how the heathen will behave in the kingdom. So we can end off with that, I feel like.
Okay. This is Isaiah 11:4.
Let's start up a little bit on this though.
Let's just start at 1.
Yeah.
See the reign of the righteous branch, man, or righteous reign of the branch. All right, again, talking about Yahushai. So we see all these various prophecies talking about Yahushai and his equity that he's going to bring to the earth in his kingdom. So it says, Isaiah 11:1, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, that's David's father. And it says, and a branch shall grow out of his roots, Yahushai. And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, and the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh. And he shall make him of a quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears, right? But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked.
So there you go, man. And this is it goes a lot into how what happened when Yahushua walked the earth, right? But if he did that when he walked the earth, how much more in the kingdom of heaven, man? Right. Don't you think that he's going to judge the poor, reprove with equity for the meek of the earth? All of these things have to happen, man. Right? That's what the kingdom will be.
And he did it when he walked the earth. He did it through the Spirit and making his sacrifice so that these things can be possible. But when he actually returns, he's actually going to do a physical military conquest of the whole earth, man.
But that's the point, man. Going back to that equity, man. It's all of these precepts that we brought out has been about the order and the equity of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man.
Hey, because like it says, man, God is not the author of confusion.
Nope.
So that would be confusion. If the heathens were in a rulership position with Israel, or that's just confusion, man.
Can we get Baba Kushal real quick? Can we grab that Revelation 2?
Yes, sir.
Because this is the breeding of confusion, man. When you read these precepts in a manner that these people want you to read them, this is how you know it's folly, man. So Revelations 2, and I start at 25. It says, but that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, right? So now the question becomes, with the way that the majority of people on this planet want you to read this, you're saying that Yahushua said that he's going to give power to the nations to rule the nations with the rod of iron. That makes no sense.
It makes no sense, and it's confusion.
It makes no sense at all, man. But we just, as the brother just quoted, man, Yahweh is not the author of confusion, man. So that's not what it couldn't be. That's what it means, man. It's talking about a particular people, which that particular people, in this sense, is the elect of Israel, man.
That's right, bro. And it links right back to Psalms, the 2nd chapter.
Yep.
He will break them, like a potter's vessel.
Being joint heirs, right? And that's when Romans 9, the 9th chapter, say that the glory, the adoptions, the covenants, the service of the Most High is for the Israelites, his kinsmen, according to the flesh.
According to the flesh, concerning whom Hamashiach came.
Yep. So that's all it could be, man. That's what makes sense.
Yeah, that's all.
But now let's go into just the order that's going to be on earth. We can hit the Isaiah. We can hit that one, Con.
Or you want this one?
I was going to say the Isaiah 2 real quick, yeah.
Okay, this is Isaiah 2:1. See God's universal reign, all right, over the whole earth. It says, Isaiah 2:1, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
So what is that saying? That's saying that the government of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will supersede everything else that's going on this earth.
Right.
The other so-called governments won't even be formed to even have a say-so in these things because they're going to be tributaries. Right. That's why they're flowing unto the mountain of Yahweh, man. That's why, and it's going to explain it as we keep going in verse 3.
Verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh Bashem Shai from Jerusalem.
So there you go. They have to come to the mountain of the Lord to learn the true ways of living, man.
Exactly.
To learn the ways of the Heavenly Father. Why? Because they have no rulership. They have no portion. They got to either get down or lay down, man. That's it. That's all. And then we got a precept that shows that a little bit later on in this lesson. All right.
But wait, if Israel's already in the land currently, then they should be administering the law, right?
Exactly.
All the nations should be going to them to learn, right?
You shouldn't have no pink city in the Holy Land.
Yeah, the word should be going forth out of Jerusalem, right?
Yep.
So that's a lie. Clearly, they're false, man. But it says, and he shall judge. Man, bro, that's how you know they're not the people, because they don't keep any of the law.
Yeah.
They don't care about any of it.
Yeah. They came out with some kosher pork. It's folly.
And that's why that land has to be destroyed, man. Pursuant to what's that, Ezekiel 38?
Yeah.
So that kosher pork got to go. And the pink city, and all the war and bloodshed that they do continually.
Yep.
And look, that goes into the next thing. It says right here, man. It says, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Why? Because because Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai will be in rulership, man. The elect, the 144,000, right? So I want to get this precept. It just came to mind. This is why they won't even think about fighting, bro.
Which one?
I got it right here. Zechariah 12.
Oh, I got you.
And 8. See, okay. They're not gonna want to do it because this is going to be this is going to be who's ruling the earth at this time, man. Zechariah 12 and 8, it says, in that day shall the Lord Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. And the house of David shall be his God, as the angel of the Lord Yahweh before them. So there you go, man. They're not going to even want, they don't want to have to deal with the situation of, here comes the gods.
You can't fight against gods, man. You know?
That's what they don't want. So no, they're not going to try to fight each other, man. And if they do, they're going to get beat with that rod of iron and put right back into their place, man. Right back to order, right back to equity.
Straight BTA.
BTA.
Straight BTA.
But that's what it is. That's what it's going to have to be, man. That goes back to the order in which the Lord will establish on the earth, man. And it echoes the same sentiment here in Micah, the 4th chapter. If we can go there real quick.
Got it right here.
Micah 4 and 1. It says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it, or unto it, right? So it's the same setup that we just read in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter.
Exactly.
Right? Verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem. Now, I do want to make this point too, right? Because this within itself shows the hierarchy of the Israelites, right, and the rest of the nations. Baba Kashah, can we go to Hebrews 8 real quick? This the verse 7.
Gotcha.
Right, going to the new covenant. It says, for if the first Hebrews 8 and 7, for if the first covenant have been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. He didn't add any other nations in there, right? But let's keep reading. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. So the law, statutes, and commandments will be in the Israelites' heart, right? Verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. So if the nation were going to be under this covenant with us, if they were going to receive of this and partake of this salvation,
right,
why do they have to go learn of the ways of the Lord?
Yeah, because it says it right here. We will go and he will teach us his ways.
Right? This is how you know that they won't be on the same level, man, because the Israelites will not have to be taught. We just read that verbatim.
Pretty much, man. Like one way you could put it is, the heathens are just going to be mere mortals, and Israel are going to be gods.
Yep, new bodies, you know. Again, law, statutes, and commandments in our inner parts, incorruptible. That's why the scriptures say this: corruptible must put on incorruptible, man. Right?
Yep.
We can keep reading in that Micah. We was at 3, I believe, right?
Okay.
And he shall judge among many people. Micah 4 and 3. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords in the plowshares and their spears in the pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So just backing up the same sentiment that was in that Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, man.
Same thing.
Same thing. But again, the Israelites won't have to be taught, showing you that's an order of operations here that the heathen don't even partake in. They have to still learn, right? Now, what happens? What happens to the heathen if they decide that they don't want to listen to those warnings? Right? I think that was in Zechariah. Yeah, here we go, right here, Zechariah 14.
And 14.
Come. Zechariah 14, and let's start at 16. Right? Because this is what happens to the nations if they don't want to listen. They don't want to follow direction. They decide they don't want to keep high holy days, right? This is what happens. That wouldn't even be a thought. We wouldn't even have to have this written, you know, if they were under the new covenant, because if they were under the new covenant, the laws would be the inward part.
Yeah, everybody would just do it.
Exactly. But they want to, they just weird, bro. They heathen. Zechariah 14 and 16, it says, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. So he's going to send drought. Because if they don't listen, they're going to receive drought. But again, if they were under that new covenant, a part of that salvation, this wouldn't even be a thought. Right? Verse 18, it says, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Right.
This, you got it, bro.
No, yeah, Salaki, bro. So this is wherewith Yahweh will smite the heathen, right? Who don't obey. So what? Some of them are just perfect. Some of them are obeying, but some are not. You know, the ones who got saved are perfect, but the rest are just still regular.
Folly.
You know,
Folly. So there you go, man. It's verse 19. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, right? So again, that just shows you that no, they will be under the rule of the Israelites, man. They will be tributaries. They will have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. They have to be taught the ways. All right. But you got it, bro.
this is Isaiah 14:1. It says, "For Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." And this is when it says strangers, talking about those Israelites who were scattered. You know,
The word there is gar, one lacking inherited rights.
right? But still an Israelite by blood.
Yep.
Which is what this is all about. And it says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place." So even the heathen are going to be bringing Israelites back to the land, man. "And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors."
Mm-hmm.
Not they will rule with their oppressors, you know. And who's captive? And who's captive, man? You know, the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are captive.
That's why Luke, the first chapter, says we have to be saved from our enemies, man. And you like how do you get saved from your enemies? You get to the chariot, you look up, and your boss there with a write up.
Yeah, I remember. I remember Jake said, "We're gonna be singing the song of Moses," and then they wouldn't be able to sing it. They would be all off and shit.
Like, bro, like, come on, man. What are we doing? It's folly. You got to pull it up right there, that Luke. We can just read that out too.
Yeah, it says, Luke 1:68, "Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. As he spake," right? Like as he spake, as we were just reading Isaiah, Zechariah, Micah, right? "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, the first fruits." It says that we should be saved from our enemies,
mm-hmm.
and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform.
I was just gonna say, there you go, man. And all the enemies are listed in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, and it just so happens to be the other nations.
Well, it makes sense because they know we're the sons of God.
Yep.
So they got to try to team up against us. That's why it's a confederate.
Yep. And that's perfect, bro. But that's going to be the order, man. We're going to be saved from our enemies, right? There will be order amongst the elect of the house of Israel, and then they're going to disseminate the law to the nations. That's it, man. They're going to be tributaries. They're going to be servitudes. The brother read the Isaiah 14 that they will be servants and handmaids, man. All right, Psalms the 149th chapter. "To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh."
Yeah, and that's the judgment written.
Yeah. You know, so there's no way that you can get around that. That is the order and the equity that the Heavenly Father set up, man.
Man, and it's going to be perfect and beautiful.
Fine. You had something else, bro?
That's all I got.
So, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. With that, we're going to say, call halal, Yahweh, double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, taught us his truth. Shalom to the 144,000, as well as to the rest of the hopeful righteous elect, man. Shalom. Kwam Yasharala Wa Abba Babal.
Shalom. Abba Babal.